Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Outkick MMA episode 414. I am Brendan. UFC 304 prelims, right? There's going to be Nathaniel Wood versus Daniel Pineda, and the rest of the prelims. We're going to break them all down round by round, go over everything, talk about this dirty night of prelims. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if everybody just got back from a bar and they wanted to fight dirty. I don't know what it was. If you like this kind of thing, fight breakdowns, that kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. That way you know the videos coming out. I'd appreciate it. Let's get into some of these fights. Like I said at the top of this, okay, if you did not watch all these prelims, this is a skipper. It's a skipper. Sorry, guys. Everybody who fought on this card, I'm sorry. There were some good fights, some good performances. There were some technical performances, some stuff that if you're a hardcore fan, you probably already watched it, so you don't need to hear this. If you're a casual fan, this is not worth throwing on in the background. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's just not. There was too many fouls. Too many fouls. Like I said at the top of this, it was a dirty-ass night, man. There were so many nut kicks, and we'll get to it when I get to it. We'll get to it when we talk about every single fight, because almost all of them had a foul. Some of them, multiple fouls. Wood kick into the legs, and Pineda shoots the double. They're both going at the leg kicks. Both landed hard leg kicks, too. Initially, it looked like Pineda was going to land the better ones. It looked like he was doing more damage. Wood finds a front kick to the gut, and Pineda goes down, closes his guard. Pineda gets on top for a bit, but he was hurt, and that's how you score it, right? Wood was, I don't know why Wood engaged in the ground fight on this in this round. He did it again later. I don't know why. He was outstriking him 15-13. He outdamaged him for sure by dropping him. Clearly his round 10-9. Second round, back to killing each other's legs. Then Woods lands the cleanest four-piece combo, hurts Pineda bad. Pineda throwing big overhands, and then Wood lands some front kicks to the gut and the obligatory nut shot, which apparently everybody was told to throw before this night started. Wood is much cleaner with his strikes, but Pineda is so dangerous, throwing those big, heavy hooks. Wood landing two hard low kicks, dropping Pineda each time. And then Wood landing the jab in tight, wobbling Pineda. A great left hook from Wood, wobbles him in some beautiful boxing, and another one, and Pineda drops again. Why is Wood on the ground with him? Outstriking him 42-12. Spend some time on the ground with him. Minute and 22 seconds on top. Why? Why? And more why. Why would you do that? 20-18. And I'll tell you why I would. Because I'm beating the shit out of him, and if he lands a lucky shot and wobbles me, he could take the round. So maybe that's why. Pineda throwing huge uppercuts, going for that takedown, but gets caught in a guillotine. Wood able to use that to reverse, then they get back up. Wood hurts him to the body. This is one of the first times I've ever seen it. I'm sure it's happened in the UFC before, but this is the first fight I distinctly remember a guy dropping someone, all in the same fight, by the way, with a headshot, with a body shot, and with legs, shots to the legs. I have never, in my memory, seen somebody drop someone with shots to all three levels at separate times, separate exchanges. Crazy. Drops him down. Pineda in control of the half guard, looking for Darces and Kimuras because Pineda gets on top. What did I say? Shouldn't be doing that stuff. Pineda did win this round after getting destroyed in the previous two. It shows the inaccuracies of the 10-9 scoring system getting absolutely demolished. And essentially, like, you could have had a 10-8 in that second round, so it made it much more difficult for him. Let's see here. David Leatherby and Daryl Ransom both gave Nathaniel Wood a 10-8 in that second round, but Clemens Werner gave it a 10-9. So that's a problem with the 10-9 scoring system. You get an absolute beatdown, and it's the same as some guys, being in control of you. We're doing no damage for an entire round, so that kind of sucks. Great win for Wood. Pineda's tough as shit. Did not quit on himself. All right, we got a lot of fights to get through. Molly McCann versus Bruna, Brazil. This is what I was talking about at the top. We'll get to it. Okay, I do have a problem with this one, just slightly, based off of the way things are going. What is it? What's going on? All of a sudden, my internet's is like, nah, no thanks, bro. Okay, there we go. Brazil with the low kicks and McCann wanting to hook her way in, and then holy shit, Brazil kicks her right in the crotch. Just so hard, right in the junk. Oh my God. And then McCann's like rolling around on the ground after getting kicked low. Oh my God, that looks so bad. Brazil looking good, staying on the outside and circling. A knee to the gut as Molly moves in and she drops. I cannot imagine that kick to the junk helped her body feel any better. She got kicked in the junk and then gets kneed in the body, and then she was sensitive to the body throughout the rest of the fight. I got to imagine that played a huge part in it. It's one of those ones where I can point directly to a situation where a low blow leads to offensive advantage. Brazil doing a great job of retreating and countering, 25-10 for striking numbers in her favor, 10-9. Second round, McCann on the pressure, finally able to get the clinch and the takedown, but nothing with it. Brazil lands a right hand after McCann throws a spinning kick. It gives Brazil the round. You know, this was a really close round, 11-11. McCann was probably winning this round, but then at the very end of it, Brazil lands a good shot. Brazil gets into the ground looking to coast, and she stays on top for 90 seconds. Then McCann with the pressure, landing some really good hooks. Brazil with another takedown, stays on top for this rest of this round. 3 minutes and 30 seconds of control time, and that's pretty much what made up this last round. Not a lot to score there. I had it 30-27. Ben Cartledge and Clemens Werner both had it 30-27. Anders Olsen actually gave McCann that second round. It was a close round. Understandable. That's not a bad scorecard. Moving on. All right. Dude stepping up on short notice and missing weight. I know. You kind of want to give him leeway, but you just can't, and I'll explain why. You can't give him weight. Keelan Loughran versus Jake Hadley. Hadley missing weight by a pound. Here's the thing. I know that he stepped up on short notice, and they ended up fighting at a catch weight, right? It was not a catch weight. They called it a bantamweight fight. Okay. Here's the thing. Like I said, I know he stepped up on short notice, and you want to give him leeway. You can't. Part of the challenge of stepping up on short notice is the weight cut. If you can't make the weight, what you got to do is either tell them no, or can we fight at a catch weight? And if they say no, we can't fight at a catch weight, and it's going to be a struggle for you to make the weight, you know, they can say, oh, well, he tried to make the weight, and therefore, you know, we'll just fine him the 20%. The dude missed weight and won. Right? He missed weight and won. Yeah, so far this year, guys who have missed weight have won 77% of the time. It's still a good technique, missing weight. It's been a classic technique in boxing, and it holds over in MMA. Loughran, I mean, it was not just because of that. Obviously, there was a lot of skill involved. We'll talk about it. Hadley misses weight, and because of that, I think he should have been punished more than 20%, but it's okay. It's okay. They accepted it. Loughran is steadily walking him down, and Hadley lands a huge right hand. Loughran just looks so stiff this entire fight, just waiting too much, waiting for everything, and then Hadley landing, getting ahead with his strikes, and then Loughran throwing more down the stretch, but just nothing landing super clean, and Hadley getting out in front, 27-19 for striking numbers, and that's what it made the difference. Second round, Loughran right in his face again, trying the single leg, then the double leg, nothing there. Loughran just is not extending his combinations or finding the mark with the longer shots. Loughran finally finds the mark with the right hand, but takes 5 more coming back at him. Then Loughran lands a nut shot. Like I said, the obligatory nut shot of the night. Loughran a couple takedowns at the end of the round, but I just don't think that did enough. If you think this put him over in this round, then maybe the striking numbers were relatively close, 24-22, so I could see that. But I still had Hadley up on damage, 20-18. Hadley mixing up his targets really well with the low kicks and the jab. The 1-2s looking great as he circles, and Hadley just doing enough to win. 30-25 for striking numbers in this round. Same story as the first round, just circling, backing up, doing a great job. Mike Collette and David Letheby gave all 3 rounds to Jake Hadley. Derek clearly gave that second round to Loughran. Again, as much as I want to shit on Clearly, that's not a bad scorecard. I think that's okay. All right, let's talk about some dirty ass shit from a dirty-ass fucker. Actually, I don't know if he's a dirty fighter or just incredibly undisciplined like I've talked about in the past. Not him, but people who are undisciplined tend to foul more. Muhammad Mokaev versus Manel Kape. Okay. First of all, oh man, I'll get to this at the end, but how can you root for this guy? And then Dana White afterwards, I mean, rightfully so. I think this good stuff has happened because of the lack of responsibility and professionalism here. The security stays in there to keep them separated, so you figure it's going to be a banger. They're going to get out there, but then no, they spend 2.5 minutes. Neither one of them want to engage. Mokaev with the low kicks at range. Neither guy wants to move in. Mokaev has kicked him in the cups 3 fucking times in this first round, and no punishment for that. Kape opens up at the end and lands the best strikes at the end of the round, and I think because of that, you give him this round. He was outstruck here 10-7, but the most damage came from Kape's 6 strikes to the head instead of the 5 to the body and 3 to the legs of Mokaev, right? If you gave that first round to Mokaev, I kind of understand it, but the dude's got to get punished at some point. Second round here, Kape broke his toe and tried to adjust it, which sucks. Mokaev finally gets his takedown, but then Mokaev grabs the shorts, just and yanks him down. Just absolutely yanks his pants off, trying to pull his pants off in the middle of a fight. One of the dirtiest things I've seen in a long time. Absolutely disgusting. He loses position but gets no point deduction. And then he pokes him in the eye. The ref says something about it, but then doesn't stop it. So he's poked him in the eye, kicked him in the nuts multiple times, tried to pull his pants down. Oh, he eventually grabs the fence at one point too. But Mokaev did more in this round. I mean, more fouling too, but Mokaev, he won this round. Should have got a point deduction. Mokaev goes takedown and gets stuck in a guillotine. Elbows from bottom by Kape, way more damage from it. Kape should win this round. I feel like he landed more damage from bottom than Mokaev did from top. The striking numbers do say 10-3, but all that stuff from bottom, Kape was landing some hard shit. Judges don't likely see that stuff, and that's what happened here. Derek Clearly, Anders Olsen. Actually, Derek Clearly, Daryl Ransom gave the last round to Kape, but Anders Olsen gave all 3 rounds to Mokaev. But that's the thing; none of them gave Kape the first round. I think he won that first round. Again, this was one of those things. And then we'll talk about the press conference afterwards. So Dana White, when asked about Mokaev, he says that the PFL is going to get a great undefeated fighter. They don't want him anymore. His contract is up, and they don't want him. How can you root for a guy like this? Take all of his other stuff out of this, where he's from, religion, and all that other stuff, okay? Other than your proclivities of nationalism or national pride, religious pride, take all that out of there. Just look at him as a fighter. How can you root for a guy who runs away, fakes the point down? So in multiple fights, he has pointed down to the ground, indicating he wants to stay here and let's throw down, and then shot for a takedown immediately, right? And you can talk about gamesmanship and everything else. It's just a bitch move after a point. It's like going for can you say it's gamesmanship going for the hand touch and then hitting the guy? We don't like that, right? We don't like that. So it's the same shit. He fouls literally everyone everywhere, he foul baits, right? Pretending that he got hit low, plays it up all the time. Like that thing where he said that he got the ref gave him that position from he thought he was sitting on his butt, but he wasn't, so he wasn't a grounded opponent. Fought a guy with a broken toe, but continued to run away the whole time and not even look for a finish. How can you root for a guy like this? And then afterwards, when asked about what has been going on with Kape, and I normally don't like getting into this kind of stuff, but this one has just added up way too much. He said, "Oh yeah, I said, hey, come here for a picture," put his arm around him, and then punched him in the head. Who the fuck does that shit? Like this, and I'm not saying Kape is innocent here. He hasn't talked shit or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, all that other stuff, and he's a boring fighter, and he's not like he's a guy who plays games in there and not the fun kind of games. Like, he's not fun to watch, and he's a dirty fighter too. Like, again, I said at the top of this, I don't know if he's dirty or if he's just lacks discipline, but when a guy has come out of multiple fights committing multiple fouls, like, dude, would you think John Jones is a dirty fighter because he pokes someone in the eye every single time? I'd say yes. So if it's a pattern, I think it moves past the point of discipline and it just becomes dirty. But probably not going to be in the UFC anymore, so no love lost there. Oban Elliott versus Preston Parsons. This one was not that memorable. Parsons going to low kick and high to keep that range multiple times. Parsons with the low kicks. Elliott takes Elliott off his balance. Elliott able to pressure and control in the clinch, not doing much damage with it. Not a ton of damage to score. Could be about even, and the pressure goes to Elliott. So if you look at the striking numbers here, Parsons actually outlanded him 12-9, but Elliott kept the pressure on, controlled it. I don't think the damage was that much in favor of Parsons, so I had a 10-9 to Elliott. Parsons starts with the pressure again. Elliott able to fight it off, and Elliott is controlling the grappling exchanges, getting the back. Elliott is just winning in all positions, in my opinion. Now, it says Parsons outstruck him here 16-13. So I thought there was more being landed in favor of Elliott, but those leg kicks of Parsons, the 7-2 in favor of Parsons, really, I guess, making that difference on the striking numbers. I still don't think it's more damage. 20-18 is how I had it. Third round, Parsons just can't get takedowns. Elliott is starting to pick him apart on the feet, and Parsons finally gets a takedown. Can't really do anything with it, and they're back up. Elliott did more damage in this round. I had him up 22. Look at this, 22-8. Elliott doing more damage. Yeah, man. If you look at the scorecards here, Clearly and David Leatherby both gave it 30-27. Mark Collette gave that first round to Parsons. Again, I'm not gonna fight with you on that one. I could see why you gave that to Parsons. I'm okay with it. Cleanest fight of the prelims, if you believe it. Modestas Bukauskas versus Marcin Prachnio. This was going to be a firefight, and it was. This was one of the most fun fights of the night to watch. Didn't end with the bang that we were really expecting, but that's okay. It was fun to watch while it lasted. Prachnio going after that lead leg early, that's got to be scary with it being destroyed before. I always get nervous when I see that happen. Bukauskas gets into range, lands a really nice left hand, but the kicks are giving him issues, and he just can't get into range and land those heavy shots that he wants. Prachnio is putting more out there. Getting ahead on the numbers. Bukauskas landing a nice left hook, and Prachnio wobbles and then follows up. Prachnio able to get in the clinch and then get his wits about him. Prachnio hurt by a kick and then fires back, but the damage from Bukauskas puts him over the edge here. Prachnio outstruck him 26-19, but he was wobbled multiple times by Bukauskas. I gave Bukauskas this round. If you gave it to Prachnio, I understand it was pretty back and forth. I had damage in favor of Bukauskas. Prachnio just walking into range, swinging away, and then going back to those low kicks. Bukauskas finding the mark with the left hook as Prachnio swings big and misses. Bukauskas hurts him with that right hand, follows up, but then Prachnio lands a head kick from within the clinch, basically. And Bukauskas wants to clinch now. Prachnio grabbing and holding onto the fence on the ground. Not great. There's the foul, the obligatory foul. Bukauskas gets that easy takedown on top. I don't know if he landed enough damage from on top, but they rocked each other that round. I had Prachnio outlanding him, and they both rocked each other 34-17 for striking numbers. Prachnio wins this round, 19-19. Prachnio starts the round firing away, not landing with crazy and landing with crazy looping shots, but the problem was Bukauskas got the takedown this time, gets the arm triangle, finally gets his finish. Great win for him. Like I said, exciting fight while it lasted. Let's judge the scorecards. Ben Cartledge and Daryl Ransom. Nope. Clemens Werner had it 19-19. Daryl Ransom had both rounds for Bukauskas. That's not a good scorecard right here. That's not good. Bukauskas could not have won that second round. There's no way you give that to Prachnio. They rocked each other, and Prachnio landed way more. That makes no sense. Bad. No. Oh, man, we're getting up there in length of video here. Sam Patterson versus Kiefer Crosbie. Another foul. Crosbie going after the legs early. Patterson looking to use his range in those long straight shots. Crosbie landing a shot to the nuts. Again, have to do it. Patterson finding the mark with a nasty uppercut. Crosbie going over the top with big hooks inside. Patterson with the easy body lock takedown right into the mount to the arm triangle and gets the finish. Great win for him. Moving on. Mick Parkin versus Lukasz Brzeski. Brzeski is fast. He's looking to land some low kicks, and they're in close, landing the 1-2s and the uppercuts in the clinch. Parkin looks unfazed by everything that's coming back at him. It really looks like he's just waiting for that perfect shot to put him down, and every time he does land, Brzeski wobbles. So I was really expecting Parkin to put him away. Parkin landing with that lead hook and right around the guard. He seriously wobbles Brzeski, and that's it. I can't say I didn't see this coming. Landing that big right hand, wobbles him and gets the finish. I really did expect that. After you watch their first couple exchanges, you figure that's going to happen. Okay, first fight of the night. Shauna Bannon versus Ardelean. Elise Ardelean. Bannon with the bladed stance. This one was not the most fun to watch. It was more just a point fight with some clinch work. Bannon with the bladed stance, wanting to stay on the outside, landing those kicks. Ardelean landing stiff jabs and a nice right hand. Ardelean getting the takedown through the fence grab. Bannon grabbing the fence. Again, more fouls. Bannon is going for subs off the back. Ardelean just not doing much on top. Ardelean did nothing with the position, landing 2 good shots. So I would go Bannon in this first round. She had the control time, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, if you want to call it that. And she said, it doesn't show that there's any submission attempts. The thing is, if you are close to a submission, if you are setting up a submission and you got the arm isolated, like that's a submission attempt, and you're not in control anymore. If someone has my arm and they have their legs one leg across my face and the other across my chest, and they're about ready to go for an arm bar, I'm not in control anymore. Okay? So I gave that first round to Bannon. If you give it to Ardelean, no, I don't get it. The striking numbers were not that much, and I just don't get it. Bannon's going for subs off the back on Ardelean. She just didn't do much with it. Ardelean is intercepting the strikes with that right hand, which is giving Bannon issues coming standing straight up. She does not move her head well. Bannon has no power behind her shots, but she will put a few together. Hard to call this round because the bigger shots came from Ardelean. Just wasn't that many of them. But neither did Bannon. Bannon didn't land a ton either. And if you look at the striking number, 17-16 in favor of Ardelean, I gave her this round, 19-19, going in the third round. Long distance side kicks, and they keep. What? The long distance side kicks and the what? And the what? I just wrote and keeping her out there is working for her. What am I writing? Who wrote this? Me. I wrote this. I think it was the side kicks and the front kicks were keeping her at distance. It's like the thing was, Bannon was using those kicks like a jab. Ardelean was just not getting into range. She was only following. She got outstruck in this last round, 50-26. Bannon should win this fight, 29-28. I thought it was going to be a close one on the scorecards. Mark Collette gave all 3 rounds to Bannon. Don't understand that. Anders Olsen gave the first and last round to Bannon. Makes sense. And then Daryl Ransom gave the first 2 rounds to Ardelean. Okay. I get that. I mean, that makes sense. Kind of. Not really. That the Ardelean in that first round did nothing. Anders Olsen knows what he's seeing here. Anders Olsen, that's my guy. When they go overseas, Anders Olsen, that's my guy. Anyway, that is it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of thing. That means the next video is coming out. I'd appreciate it. Man, this was not my most fun experience. These past couple weeks has been, like I said, it's felt like work watching these fights. It was not as enjoyable as it has been in the past. I haven't been hyped for a lot of these fights. I was more excited for the title fights here, and they just didn't do it for me. I mean, it's not that they were like horrible. It just didn't get me pumped the way I normally have been in the past. Tom Aspinall's fantastic. Curtis Blades, one of my favorite fighters. Unfortunate that he lost. Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. That was not a bad fight. Pimblett versus Green, fun. prelim. Maybe it was just the prelims were so long and stinky and too many freaking fouls. I hate seeing fouls. All right, that's it for me. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Love you guys so much. Peace.